there's a space between the screen and the light, between memory and dream, between this life and the last one. I don't see the world the way most people do. I see it kind of like pixels, a little bit fragmented, sometimes a little shimmering, always in this weird kind of motion. And in between those pixels, I see the rest of it. So for those who are listening, let's squeeze between those pixels and see what we can see. I'm your host, the Entangled Cynic, and today's topic, side hustle or soul suck. We're going to talk about something a little messy today. Soul purpose versus side hustle. And you've heard it before. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Do what you love and the money will follow. Or hustle now so you can rest later. Well, first off, later never comes. Not here, not in the United States. You work until you die, and that's exactly how the PTBs like it. Scratching and scraping for crumbs that fall from their fat cat faces as they laugh their bloated belly shaking chortles at the expense of every citizen who wasn't fortunate enough to have been born into money they never earned. We hustle. 1 job, 2 jobs, maybe even 3 if you're lucky, especially in Trump and his maggots intentionally nuked economy. And yeah, he did it on purpose. You know it, I know it, we all know it. And still, we work those jobs, shake our tails, and we bust our backs and our balls while people like him and his masters savor the sweat from our backsides like it's manna from heaven. They feast while we struggle to put food on the table. It doesn't matter if you're single, coupled, childless, or part of that gross quiverful movement. I mean, sorry, seriously, what the fuck's up with that, ladies? Any of you really that excited to drop your 20th newborn out onto the driveway as you go for the mail? Really? Thank heaven for the 4B movement. But I digress. Back to the main vein here, side hustle versus soul purpose. Yes, S-O-U-L, not S-O-L-E. What about that business you wanted to build for yourself, but you wound up door driving instead? If your door driving is helping pay the bills and keeping your head above water, it's worth it, isn't it? At least until it isn't, right? I mean, burnout. Let's talk about the romantic lie of soul purpose. We've glorified the idea of purpose. Like it's this glowing light on a hill, the one thing we're meant to do. But here's the thing. Sometimes purpose doesn't pay. Sometimes it's quiet, messy, boring, not cute, not cuddly, not clickable, and far too often it doesn't get you applause. But a lot of times, with the passion of purpose, applause aren't needed. Fulfillment is what you might be aiming for. Though, let's face it, recognition can be quite lovely too. As long as you don't confuse ego with essence. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, what we're chasing isn't really purpose, but identity? We want to be seen as the one with the mission, the one who made it matter. Ask yourself, are you in love with the mission or just the version of yourself who gets to deliver it? And if no one ever saw you do it, would it still be your sole purpose? Now there is a flip side, and here's the basic hustle life layout. Build it, scale it, monetize it, sleep later, or as we used to say back in my early days, rest when you die. We thought it sounded good back then, and maybe it did, but now you're 3 side gigs deep, and your joy's been replaced with caffeine CRMs and Canva templates. Whether you want it or not, here's the truth. The hustle can trap you just as easily as a job can. It's still a cage, it just has different branding. Sometimes your side hustle isn't about building the life that you want, but it's about keeping you too busy to face the life you've got. So, let me ask you this. If your side hustle made you rich tomorrow, Would you actually be happy or just busy in better clothes? Be honest. There's no one here but us. And while you're thinking about that, let's cut through the binary bullshit and slide into the idea of spectrum. Soul purpose, side hustle, they don't have to be opposites. Sometimes your hustle becomes your purpose, and sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes your purpose starts as a hustle. But if you're not awake and aware of why you're building whichever one you are, you run the risk of losing yourself in the process. When you do, your so-called purpose turns into a performance. It's just a means to feed the ego instead of something that actually nurtures your soul. The hustle can be used to avoid whatever it is you think you can't face at the moment. But you can. Ask yourself, what am I really building and why? Is there something I'm avoiding? Is this a quick fix, or is it really aligned with my joy? Maybe even more importantly, is this just a distraction that I dressed up as destiny? So, what story are you living through your work? And is it really yours, or did it come from the program society or your family wrote for you? We know that family roles, or roles that family have thrust upon us from the time we come out of the womb until they're gone, have changed lives, for better or for worse. Hopefully, for the most part, it's been for the better, in that the wisdom that has been passed down from those family members in the guise of your programming might have helped you achieve where you're at right now, which gives you the actual time and space to consider your soul purpose. But what if you knew your soul purpose when you were a kid and they wouldn't let you nurture it? In fact, they poo-pooed your idea, or they made sure that you knew that if you did try to nurture that soul purpose, that you would never be supported by them. That kind of manipulation. It happens. It happens quite frequently. So there's a way to get out from under that programming, but it's not easy, and it really takes facing a lot of hard facts. It takes facing things with a non-judgmental eye, and that's really, really hard because it means taking the emotion out of things. It means looking at what those family members might have experienced. What dreams did they give up? Contemplating the idea that maybe they didn't want to be what they wound up to. And once you kind of cut through all that, it makes it a lot easier for you to understand your motivations and the motivations that you're passing down to the next generation if you are parents. So, let's see, sure, there's work underneath all of it. No matter which way you go, no matter where you came from, no matter how it came to you, your soul purpose, your side hustle, all of it. Sure, it can be your brand. A soul purpose can absolutely become your brand, but neither it or the side hustle should be used to define you. You are not just the person who, does the makeup. You are not just the person who writes the books. You are not just the person who is a coach. You are not just the person who has the certification in this, that, or the other. No matter how much passion you have behind it, your identity is more. If your identity is wrapped up just in the certifications and the life progress that you've made for tangible things, you're missing something. You're missing part of the inside of you. You're missing the part of you that is greater and is bigger. Are you looking beyond what you are receiving? Whether it is tangible, whether it is soul stuff, are you passing that forward? Your wisdom, your experience, your knowledge, your compassion. Do you dive into your compassion? Do you know where it came from? Do you utilize and remember the feelings that you had when you were told, no, you can't do that, or I'm not going to let you do that, or I won't support you if you do that? Do you remember how that felt and utilize those feelings to help others? There's so much more to just being what you can do. It's being who you can be. And who you can be is always more than just what you can do. They're both tools, your side hustle and your soul purpose. That's what they are. They're tools. They're manifestations, outward manifestations of the things you feel on the inside and the things you want to share on the inside. But either of them can become just another costume too if you're not careful. The real work, that's the slog through the muck that no one sees, no one claps for, no one thanks you for. But it's the stuff that matters most. So I'll leave you with this. If you're working a hustle, if your working hustle disappeared tomorrow, would you still know who you are? And if you're working that soul purpose, what if that disappeared tomorrow? Would you still know who you are then? So just think about it. And if this stirred something, do me a favor, don't share it yet. Just sit with it. Let these questions, let these contemplations be that itch in the back of your brain. And then when you're ready, invite someone else into the discomfort. So until next time, thank you for being here. Stay well, stay safe, and remember, we're all entangled.